Come on, everybody. You are on the channel for English for Biology majors, which is brought to you by Tsinghua University's Susan Ye. We hope after you learn this class, you will think biology is fun and to read biology book is piece of cake. Let's go, yay! Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with lesson 16, which is the frequently used prefix and the suffixes. But first, we still need to review what we learned last time for the last part of lesson 15. For salivary gland, we use one prefix, sialo or sialo, S-I-A-L-O. For sweat or sweat gland, there's one professional prefix can be used, hydro, H-I-D-R-O. For tonsil, which is this part of our gland, we have two prefixes to use, amygdalo, A-M-Y-G-D-A-L-O, and the tonsillo, T-O-N-S-I-L-L-O. For bone, we have two prefixes to use, osseo, O-S-S-E-O, and osteo, O-S-T-E-O. And for spinal cord, which is the neural part of our spine, we have myelo, M-Y-E-L-O, and spinal, S-P-I-N-O, these two prefixes. As for vertebra, which is the bony part of our spine, we have spondylo, S-P-O-N-D-Y-L-O, and the vertebral, V-E-R-T-E-B-R-O. Now let's move to lesson 16. The first part, frequently used prefix and suffixes. For life, we have three prefixes to use, bio, B-I-O, and vivi, V-I-V-I, and zoo, Z-O-O. Let's see our example. For bio, we have bioaccumulation. Bioaccumulation is a process by which substances accumulate in the tissues of living organisms, used especially of toxic substances that accumulate by a food chain. Our example for bioaccumulation is DDT. The whole name of DDT is dichlorodiphenyltrichloroethane. DDT is a colorless, crystalline, tasteless, and almost odorless organochloride. From 1950 to 1980, DDT was extensively used in agriculture. More than 40,000 tons each year worldwide, so totally it's around 1.8 million tons have been produced globally since 1940s. However, shortly after it introduced to the market, there's several findings. For example, one of them, a toxicologist, David Pickle, was measuring DDE. DDE is one of the major metabolites of DDT levels in the eggs of falcons and California condors, and he finds that increased level of DDE corresponding with thinner shells. And also in the 1970s, this is a structure of DDE. And also in 1970s and 1980s, as a result, in the 1970s and 1980s, agricultural use was banned in most developed countries, starting with Hungary in 1968, followed by Norway, Sweden in 1970, and Germany and the US in 1972. but not in the United Kingdom until 1984. And during this time, Rachel Carson published a novel called Silent Spring. In this novel, she described the harmful effect of DDT as when the spring comes, you won't hear the bug chirping and there's no birds singing, and so it attracts a lot of attention. By 1991, total bans, including for disease control, were in place in at least 26 countries. However, agricultural use continued in India, North Korea, and possibly somewhere else as of 2008. But DDT is a persistent organic pollutant that is readily absorbed to soil and the sediment, which can act both as sink and as long-term sources of exposure affecting organisms. Depending on the condition, DDT's soil half-life can range from 22 days to 30 years. And also because DDT is lipophilic, so it can bioaccumulate, especially in predatory birds. DDT, DDE, and the DDD, which is the other major metabolite of DDT, magnifies through the food chain, with apex predators such as raptor birds concentrating more chemicals than other animals in the same environment. They are stored mainly in the body fat. Because they are stored in the fat, so DDT and the DDE is resistant to metabolism. In humans, their half-life are 6 and up to 10 years, respectively. In the United States, Center of Disease Control take some blood, and they found that these chemicals can be detected in almost all human blood samples as of 2005. So actually, bioaccumulation is one thing that we should keep in mind for some of those chemicals before we use it. And for VIVI, our example is vivisection. Vivisection is the activity or practice of doing scientific or medical experiment on live animals. Like in biology laboratory course, we usually will do a vivisection for a frog, and you can see the lung is still breathing and the heart is still beating. So that is called vivisection. For ZOO, our example is zoonosis, or it can also pronounce as zoonosis. Zoonosis is referring to a disease that is communicable from animals to humans under natural conditions. For example, like rabies or anthrax, they can be transmitted from animals to humans. And recently, as shown in this picture, Ebola can also be transmitted back and forth from humans and animals too. And it has become a disease that will not go away in Africa. Let's review what we've learned. When we want to talk about life, we have 3 prefixes to use: bio, B-I-O, vivi, V-I-V-I, and the Z-O-O, zoo, or zoo. And when we want to talk about things that are alive, we use this prefix, vivi, V-I-V-I. And our example, again, is vivisection, which I don't think we need to talk more about it. For cell, When we want to talk things that are related to a cell, we have one prefix and one suffix. For prefix, cyto, C-Y-T-O, and for suffix, cyte, C-Y-T-E. Our example for cyto is cytochrome. Cytochrome is any of various related hemoproteins found in the cell of most organisms, which are an important part of cellular respiration. And it can transfer one electron every time. In this picture, we show cytochrome C, which is one of the important components in the respiratory chain. And as for suffix cyte, we show an example adipocyte. Adipocyte, which we use as an example for talking about fat, but here we show it again. Adipocyte is a type of cell present in adipose tissue, where fat is stored as a source of energy. Let's review what we've learned. For cell, we have one prefix and one suffix. Cyto, C-Y-T-O, and cyte, C-Y-T-E. When we want to talk about a phenomenon of attraction, we have many suffixes to use. Phil, P-H-I-L, and phile, P-H-I-L-E, philia, P-H-I-L-I-A. Usually this suffix is describing abnormal attraction. And philic, P-H-I-L-I-C, this is adjective, for use for adjective. And tropin, T-R-O-P-I-N, it is usually used for like protein, And tropism, T-R-O-P-I-S-M, this is used to describe a phenomenon. Let's see our example so you can be more clear for these suffixes. Eosinophil. Eosinophil, as shown in this picture, is a granular leukocyte with a nucleus, which that is usually has two lobes. See, two lobes connected by a slender thread of chromatin, and the cytoplasm containing coarse, round granules that are uniform in size. It can also be called eosinocyte or eosinophilic leukocyte. So it is one kind of leukocyte. And the reason why it's called eosinophil is because those granules can be stained by eosin B and the eosin Y, these two dyes. So it's called eosinophil, meaning like eosin, liking eosin. And for P-H-I-L-E, our example is pedophile. Pedophile is a psychiatry term meaning a person which is 16 years old or older who has a mental disorder that makes him primarily or exclusively sexually attracted towards prepubescent children. And sometimes it can also be used to describe an adult who is attractive to anybody below the age of consent, means 16 years old. And well, I think the most famous pedophile is the main character in Lolita. He is attracted to his stepdaughter. Her name is Lolita, and Lolita has been used in Japan to describe little girls, prepubescent girls. Our example for philia is hemophilia. Hemophilia It can also be spelled as Hemophilia in Britain. Hemophilia is any of several hereditary illnesses that impair the body's ability to control bleeding, usually passed from mother to son. It is a X-linked disease. It has two main forms. One is called hemophilia A and another one is called hemophilia B. The most famous hemophilia carrier is Queen Victoria. She is a carrier of hemophilia B. And hemophilia A is a defect of factor 8, coagulant factor 8. And hemophilia B is a defect in the factor 9. Queen Victoria, which in research they believe that she is the origin of the mutation. She has a mutation on the factor 9 and passed on to her son, Leopold, and also through some of her daughters, because the European royals likes to marry each other to make their connection tighter. So through her daughters, she passed the hemophilia B gene to royal family of Spain, Germany, and Russia. And in Russia, because the young prince get the hemophilia gene from Queen Victoria's lineage, and there's in the old time there's no way to treat the hemophilia, but one of the priests, Rasputin, can make the prince go to sleep, and which will stop the bleeding, and this makes the common people kind of having second thought about the Russia's royal family, and result in their demise. And for philic, Philic, our example is acidophilic. Acidophilic has several meanings. First one is readily stained with acid dyes, and also it can be of retaining to or being an acidophile, like acid. And in this picture, we show many flavored vinegars in France. Those acidophilic people will be happy when they see there are so many vinegars. For tropin, Tropin, our example is somatotropin. Somatotropin, as shown in this picture, is a polypeptide growth hormone produced by the human pituitary gland, consisting of 191 amino acids. It can control the rate of protein, carbohydrate, and lipid metabolism, and control the rate of skeletal and visceral growth. Somatotropin secretion is in part controlled by the hypothalamus. And for tropism, Tropism, our example is phototropism. Phototropism is a tropism of an organism in response to the source of light stimulus. Like in this picture, when the light direction is changed, one side is stronger and the other side is weaker, we can see the plant is growing toward the light, which is called phototropism. let's review what we learned. For describing attraction, we have 6 suffixes: phil, P-H-I-L, and P-H-I-L-E, phile. These two are used to describing things, like eosinophil, pedophile, and philia, P-H-I-L-I-A, is used to describe an abnormal phenomenon, a pathologic phenomenon, and philic, P-H-I-L-I-C, which is used in adjective, and tropin, T-R-O-P-I-S-M, is used to describe a protein, a thing that is not an organism. And tropism, T-R-O-P-I-S-M, is used to describe a phenomenon like phototropism. We finished the first part of lesson 16. Now let's review what we learned today. For life, we have 3 prefixes: bio, B-I-O, vivi, V-I-V-I, zoo, Z-O-O. For describing things that are alive, we have 1 prefix, vivi, V-I-V-I. For cell, we have 1 prefix and 1 suffix. Prefix is C-Y-T-O and the suffix is cyte, C-Y-T-E. For describing attraction, we have P-H-I-L and the P-H-I-L-E, phil and the phile, and philia, P-H-I-L-I-A, and philic, P-H-I-L-I-C, and the tropin, T-R-O-P-I-N, and the tropism, T-R-O-P-I-S-M. And if you still not very clear about how to use these 6 suffixes, you can go back to our lecture before to review how to use them. We finished the first part of lesson 16. Next time, we'll come back with more frequently used prefixes and suffixes. See ya! English for Biology Major is brought to you by TCU's English for Biology Major course team. If you have any questions, don't forget to visit our FB fans page. The website is here, and you can also scan the QR code to reach to our FB fans page. This course is sponsored by Centers for Faculty Development and Instructional Resources of TCU.